delayed, so I decided to look at some video here and patch notes and such, as I saw that there was nothing going on. Let's take a look here. So the first thing I'm going to take a look at just is this link here, Kotaku. Just to read up a little bit on the Season of Blood, just while we wait to see if when the delay is over. Hopefully it's sooner than later. Let's take a look. All right, so I know not everybody can read, so that's why one of the reasons why I'm just reading this off for you. So let's start with this. So items can now be marked as favorite. Items marked this way cannot be sold or salvaged. Items in the stash can now be marked as junk or favorite too. Stash can now be searched and filtered to more quickly find items. Using the sell all junk option will now only sell junk in the active inventory tab. They threw in a streamer mode, which has been implemented. So players who wish to hide identifying information, such as their character name or battle username, can find these new settings in the Connect Options menu. So that's cool. No more having to give away your username just because you want to share some video. Additional stashes have been added to capital cities near important vendors. Yeah, I noticed that. Read about that in another patch notes. I thought that was a great idea. Sometimes you have to teleport around just to end up finding a chest to swap things out or your stashes. Let's see, an auto run has been added. Oh, I always love that feature in WoW. We should see how it goes here in Diablo. It should be great. When pressing the bound key button, the player will continuously move in the direction they or their mouse cursor are facing until another movement, action, or skill is initiated. So that's great. So it should be a good feature to implement. Let's see, Blizzard also added in-game announcements for upcoming world boss spawns, and these big enemies now spawn every 3.5 hours instead of every 6. It's cool, so almost half the amount of time and in-game announcements versus having to use a third-party system or rely on Discord or something. Minimap has been zoomed out to display a wider area. This is going to be great. Nightmare Dungeon, sometimes I only like to pick up legendaries and sometimes rares. Depends on how much room I have in my inventory. So it's good when you can just run through, keep an eye on your minimap, see a gold star, and say, oh, I've got to turn around real quick, snag that piece of loot, otherwise just keep moving. 2 additional character slots have been added, totaling 12. That's great, because I was already maxed out at 10. I was figuring I was going to have to delete some characters, but looks like I'm not going to have to for this new season that's coming up. Gems will no longer drop from regular sources and can instead be crafted at a jeweler using newly added gem fragments, which will now drop instead of gems. These fragments are stored in your materials tab, so they won't fill up your inventory anymore. This is great. Sometimes I'd do a nightmare dungeon and come out with 4 or 5 gems. I'd have to leave loot behind that I could have sold for a decent amount just because I kept the gems. So this is going to be great that they're going to be fragments that aren't going to take up inventory space anymore. Crafted gems can be salvaged back into gem fragments at a jeweler. So that's great. So you don't have to keep your crafted gems. You just put them back to fragments, which gets them probably back out of your inventory. See, the overall responsiveness of mounts has been improved. I thought they were pretty decent. Blizzard says they are now less likely to get stuck on things or slow down unexpectedly. Yeah, I had that happen more than once. Mounts will also auto jump over obstacles more consistently. Oh, nice. Auto jump. Great. So auto run, auto jump. Should be pretty good. Mouse cursor no longer needs to be at the edge of the screen for keyboard and mouse players to achieve full mount speed. That's great. I have played on the Xbox, but I mainly play on the computer. Or the PS5 is what I was playing on, but I mainly play on the computer. Let's see here. Base mount movement speed has been increased by 14%. Your mount's top speed remains unchanged. Okay, so movement speed has increased. Top speed remains the same. Okay. Speed boost from Spur has had its duration increased by 50%. And when using Spur, you can now break through barricades. Oh, cool. Instead of getting stuck up on barricades, you get to push through them. Manually mount cooldown has been reduced from 10 seconds to 5. Oh, that's great. Cut the time in half, so no more having to wait, really. Then obviously at 5 seconds. Cooldown appearing after you've been forced to dismount from taking damage has been reduced from 30 seconds to 15 seconds. And the cooldown for the mount combat skill has been reduced from 10 to 3 seconds. Wow, they really want you to stay on that mount, keep it moving, auto jump, and also be able to produce pretty good combat damage. It's great. So what else we have? According to Blizzard, the following loot adjustments have been implemented per world tier. World tiers 1 and 2 unchanged. World tier 3, only legendary, unique, uber unique, and sacred rare items will drop. That's great. Players will instead receive additional crafting. That's great. Because the crafting resources I would have preferred over the equipment myself personally, because like I said, I keep filling up my equipment way too fast. World tier 4, only legendary, unique, uber unique, and ancestral rares will drop. I didn't quite make it into 4. I was at the top of 3, bottom of 4, but I'm going to push further this time. Players will instead receive additional crafting resources. Again, crafting resources, great. Gold drop rates have also been increased in World Tiers 3 and 4 to balance out these changes. Oh, cool. I did notice a few times I ran out of money in World Tier 3, so I was having to sell my rares that I was picking up instead of salvaging them, so it should be interesting to see the difference. But it has also made changes to dungeon visuals and layouts in an attempt to cut back on backtracking, which I did quite a bit, and add more visual diversity into each area. Cool, making it more of an art gallery. However, the company acknowledges these changes might not be enough and will listen to player feedback. Okay, well, I guess we'll all be interested to see how that looks. Let's see. Diablo 4 in-game changes include, okay, endgame. Time between Legion events have been reduced from 30 minutes to 25. The experience reward for completing a Legion event has been increased by 75%. Wow, that's significant. They must not have had enough people doing Legion events. World boss health and damage has been increased. Okay, that's cool. They were going down pretty quick, especially once they all got there. Also, the quality of rewards received for defeating a world boss has been significantly increased. Ooh. So more incentivizing users to get those world bosses down. And teamwork, because they're increasing the damage. We need more. The warning that indicates when a world boss will spawn now broadcasts an hour in advance versus 30 minutes previously. Players are also notified 15 minutes before a world boss spawns. Ah, that's great, because I can pretty much, once you get the waypoints unlocked, you can get basically across anywhere on the map within 15 minutes. Especially now that they've increased the mount speeds and the mounts and things, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, so it looks like that's it. Looks like the patch notes also explain that the experience bonuses for being in a party and for playing in higher tiers, world tiers, have been made multiplicative to increase effectiveness later in the game. Ah, that's great. So the more you party, the faster your experience bonuses will work, the faster you can push to higher tiers, which it's going to be better at the later game because by the time you get there, you'll be higher leveled and better equipped to deal with the monsters. Also, XP gained from killing higher level creatures has been boosted significantly. Okay, that's good. That's good. I was doing some tier 15s. I believe I was level 60 to 62 and they were around 69. So it's going to be great to get that extra XP to help me get into those even higher tier nightmare dungeons faster. But we'll see how it goes. Side quests will also offer better reward in season 2 after the patch, and all renowned rewards will persist between seasons and new characters. Okay, after the patch, all renown rewards will persist between seasons and new characters. That's great. No more grinding a bunch of the same expletive every time you start a new game or season. Interesting. Blizzard also confirmed that 700 platinum can now be earned from the battle pass. Previously, players could only earn 666. Interesting. And that's not even half of all the changes. Okay, great. I mean, I'm not going to go read the full 10,000 words, but somebody else might. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. So those are patch notes for Kotaku. Let's see if we have anything else. Let's see what Blizzard has in the Blizzard news section. Master your power in Season of Blood. That's what the season number 2 is. Season of Blood. Can't wait. Really excited. Been looking forward to it. Let's see. Say a few months. Yes, it has. Coming to Diablo. To explore the article will be found in the patch notes. Okay. Elemental resistances are being overhauled in Season of the Blood. Season of the Malignant. Okay, so previously, and then the new stuff. So previously, we won't worry too much about it. Let's see. It's had no hard cap. Rings and amulets will still have two inherent stats: resistance to all elements and random elemental resistance. That's great. Which resistance are now additive. Okay, so they're making them even better and have a base cap of 70%. Interesting. This cap can be raised with new effects that increase the cap to a hard cap of 85%, such as skills, paragon boards, elixirs, etc. Let's see, this means that you receive the same effect. So elemental resistance were inverse multiplicative before, during the malignant season, the one we were just getting over, season 1. This means that you received the same effective life each time you gained a bonus, but the nominal value of the bonus was less. For example, if you had 20% poison resistance and then received 20% more, you would have 36% poison resistance in total. Yeah, the bonus was less. Okay, interesting. So you wouldn't get that full 40%. It'd be less. Okay, so now you're going to be able to go up to a hard cap of 85 with elemental. The more resistance you have against a particular element, the more valuable each percentage is for total effective life. For example, going from 60 to 65% fire resistance is much more valuable than going from 20 to 25%. Interesting. So, okay, that's why it says it's additive. So 5% down low is not equivalent to 5% up high. So they really are incentivizing those real high end, high pushes, high tiers. Season of Blood, elemental resistance become a much more important part of your character's survivability. That's why they're pushing more of that elemental. Our goal here is to present a puzzle to solve of how to reach the maximum base of elemental resistance, which, while also giving you the tools to solve that puzzle through methods such as itemization, the skill tree, elixirs, and your paragon board. Okay, so definitely everybody keep that in mind. You want to make sure that the goal here, apparently, in their patch notes, is to present a puzzle to solve on how to reach the maximum base of elemental resistance. So it seems like if you focus on this and you get this, you're probably going to have a good time and stay alive, while also giving you the tools to solve the puzzle through, again, your items, skill trees, elixirs, and paragon board. Let's provide a base amount of resistance to all elements and jewelry to prevent players from falling behind in any individual resistance. Okay, we'll have to do some research in the future to figure out exactly what that number is and focus on the target. Around level 80, you should be able to maximize your elemental resistance at the 70% base maximum. There's a journey to solve the resistance puzzle, but it is one that you will eventually solve. Then you can move on to the other stats that you want to prioritize for your characters. It's not about whether you will reach the maximum, but more about what methods you choose to get there. Cool. Then we got some unique items. What are these unique items all about? They want community feedback. The unique items aren't as exciting and impactful as they need to be. Oh, great. They're going to make better ones. In Season of the Blood, we've done a large design rework on our unique items and updated nearly all of them in the game. The following is our four-fold strategy to how we're updating our unique items currently, and the philosophy we want to adhere to for our uniques to have special properties in the future. Here are some theoretical examples. Adding completely new stats to unique items. Bonus spirit generation while tornadoes are active is not a normal stat, but could potentially exist on a unique. Interesting. Allowing existing stats that roll on unique to roll in increased ranges. Bonus, for example, bonus fire damage normally rolls between 15 and 25%, but on a unique, it could roll between 30 and 45%. Wow, they're really making them stronger. Adding stats to slots where they typically would not exist. Oh, okay. Cooldown reduction can't normally roll on a weapon, but it can on a unique weapon. Okay, and updating unique powers and effects. A unique power requires shooting enemies from behind to deal bonus damage. Now, this power deals bonus damage on much simpler conditions, such as hitting enemies 5 times or dealing more damage all the time. The following are new examples of our updates that you can look forward to finding. Word of Hakan, 6% cooldown reduction. Your rain of arrows is always imbued with all imbuements at once. And another one. Okay, so this is an upgrade. So it was 6% cooldown reduction. Now it's specifically 20% rain of arrows cooldown reduction. So 20%. Wow, that's a significant difference. It's now been added to the world of Hakan Unique. Rain of arrows cooldown. It's not just cooldown reduction specifically for rain of arrows, but it's significantly more. Stat range for non-physical damage here been significantly increased from 20 up to 52. Adding stats to new slots. Increased ranks of death blow have been added to this unique item, so 10% critical strike chance against injured enemies. 4 ranks of death blow. Wow, 4 ranks of death blow. Could you imagine you put all 5 points in there, you get 4 more, you get up to 9? Be unique. And those unique effects are far more likely to activate more frequently and be more effective. So before your darkness skills chill enemies for up to 40%. Now your darkness skills chill enemies for up to 100% and deal 50% increased damage to frozen enemies. Much stronger. Same level too, 820, 820, same item, just better unique effects. We sometimes see a unique with a potentially powerful effect fall. I fall by the wayside due to a lack of specific stats that are too important to ignore. In this vein, you'll see that our unique items will have key stats for the builds they fit in far more often, including powerful new or thematic stats that relate to their effect. We're hoping that this will reduce the opportunity cost of playing with these items, which should entice players to try them out more often. That's true. I did have a real huge amount of legendaries that I just didn't try out at all just because they didn't have really good things about them. But I would have experimented. We're gonna kind of just breeze through this. I got to get going, but it was good to share most of this stuff, and it's going to be good to reflect back on it at a future time. But this is just talking about damage buckets, overpowered damage, and then some class improvements. So for druids, for sorcerers, for barbarians, for rogues. I play a necromancer. I don't see much in there for necromancer through this guide, but I'm sure there's going to be some good things that have come. But again, that's all for me. I do have to get going. Enjoy. See you guys on the field, and take care.